Welcome back to Beyond the Script, where you find great movies and great conversation. This is where you can find God anywhere, even in wonderful movies. So let's get started.
Well, hello everybody. Welcome back to Beyond the Script. I'm so excited to be here with you guys. I hope you can hear me okay. This is my first time doing Zoom, so I'm probably gonna be looking up and down, staring at myself. But as you know, our world is in a different place right now, but we are moving forward and moving on. And so, our first movie is for season 2, Jumping the Broom. Yes. It is one of my faves. I know I say that a lot, but it is really, really a good movie with Paula Patton and Alonzo, I believe his name is. Mike Epps, I love him. He's awesome. Uncle Earl is one of my favorite characters. So in the movie, we're gonna just jump right in and go start off with Act 1. Yes. In the movie, we start out, we see Sabrina. She's our main character, kind of coaching herself and talking herself through an epiphany she's having, no more bad, crazy relationships. She's going to take her life and relationships seriously. And so we walk through her life trying to make this pivot and this turn. And so we see her go, make the turn, and then almost immediately, within a day or two, jokingly with God, please don't let me make any more mistakes, send the right guy. And she actually runs into the right guy. It's pretty funny, but sometimes that can happen, and so in Act 1, we kind of walk that walk with her. And then in this whirlwind of a few months, or it seems as though it's a few months or a few weeks, they, fall in love and get engaged. And so we move on to Act 2. In Act 2, we kind of see a crazy dynamic with them learning each other, as well as learning not about just each other and their kind of habits, and her habit of trying to take control, and his habit of just kind of letting stuff go. And both these worlds kind of run into each other and kind of clash a little bit. And in Act 2, we see a lot of revealing in the relationship. We see a lot of it's a bit of almost a fight with them trying to just fight for each other. And they realize, even in the small time that they've gotten engaged, that they are willing to fight for each other. And so in Act 2, we kind of walk through this. They go through some serious, crazy stuff on this one roller coaster of a weekend they call an engagement party and wedding party. But it all turns out well. But the reason why it was so wonderful for me is because our guests kind of spoke about it just being kind of life, one thing that I love, just from trying to find God in life. And so it ends good. So let's go on Beyond the Script. Beyond the Script, for me, I noticed that several areas in the movie we see manipulation, and we see habits and things that we kind of sweep under the rug as as people, we do this on a regular basis. And so beyond the script for me, I noticed that we as people can create monsters in our friends and our family. We create these monsters that believe that if they manipulate enough, if they do the right things and say the right things, they control and can control your every movement. And I noticed that this was a habit for the groom's family, specifically his mom and even his cousin. And because he was passive and even passive aggressive, I would say, and he kind of just let it slide a lot of times when they would do things or say things that were inappropriate or just things that, is not your place as, as a family member of this relationship, meaning the husband and wife relationship. He would never really stand up for it. And it kind of turned into a big thing in the end. And so going beyond the script with Jumping the Broom, I would say that God was speaking to me about how we can truly allow the enemy to come in and break up the territory, and kind of come in and set foundations and, set up camp in your specified area that God has given you. You have given them the authority to do that. And when I went beyond the script, seeing that because I put myself in the groom's perspective, because there would have never been a problem if he had dealt with the issues with his mother ahead of time. And you'll understand once you watch the movie. And I feel like because he allowed her to manipulate so much through his life and through his relationships, that on the weekend of his marriage, she really, she kind of had this alpha way about her. Like, she can do whatever she want to do. And if she wanted to break up this relationship, she could. That's how she felt about it. But I feel like if he had dealt with the manipulation and dealt with the things that were inappropriate and how she dealt with his relationships earlier, then this wouldn't have happened and it could have been resolved ahead of time. And so I would take that we as people should probably just deal with situations on hand and not be passive and not just allow them to fester and grow. Because honestly, if you don't deal with the devil, he is going to stay right where he is. Enemy is always present. And so that's what I would say. That's how I went beyond the script. I hope you watch it. I hope you go beyond the script. Hit me up on Facebook, Twitter. Let me know what you thought. Let me see if we feel the same way about these characters and if you found God in the way you found God in it. So let's move on to my favorite segment of the show, pure peer thoughts. I love talking to my peers. I love seeing what they feel and how they think. And so today our guest is Chris and Christian Bowman, and I am so excited. They have a company called CB Property Group, and I will tell you a little bit more about that right now. Stay tuned. All right. Welcome back to season 2 of Beyond the Script. I'm so very excited to introduce to you guys my very first guest of the season. And this is Chris and Christian Bowman of CB Property Group. I am so excited about these two. They're doing wonderful things and out to help and build communities, selling beautiful homes. So please look them up after you leave here. I'm going to shout them out and you'll see a commercial of theirs either before or after our conversation. But welcome. Thank you so much for being here.
Wow, thank
Thank you
you,
for having
Serena.
me.
We really appreciate being your first one on your
Yes.
next season. Well, thank you so much for
You
thinking of us.
too.
We really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yes. So we've already discussed that we are talking about Jumping the Broom, an
Yeah.
awesome movie. Very, very good movie. As you know, guys, we find God anywhere here. Great movies, great conversation. So we're just going to jump right into it. What did you guys get out of it? Like, how did you find God in this movie, Jumping the Broom?
Man, there was a lot of crazy moments throughout the movie. It was very relatable. It was like life,
Mhm.
how you can plan one thing and then when you plan it, it all goes
Mhm.
disarray,
Yeah.
but in the end, it all kind of works itself out,
Mhm.
So that's great. Just in the very beginning, for me, I when she was kind of doing some dirt in the beginning, and she was coming to herself as far as she's tired of being in her mess, and she wanted to try something different, and that goes back to like the prodigal son,
Right.
uh,
Right.
uh, after going away and realizing that this is not my life, this is not my reality, I'm better than this.
Right.
And she made that commitment to God. I will commit myself back to you, and I believe that me doing that, you will give me the desires of my heart. And she really wanted a companion. And what was crazy was how God works instantly, you
Yes.
know,
Yeah.
and it wasn't like uh, how we all plan, how she probably planned in her mind, a
Mhm.
knight in shining armor. She runs into her guy in the
Right. Right.
runs
Literally.
into
Yeah.
and it just happens, and things just kind of started snowballing like that. But just how you pivot, you
Mhm.
repent, and you as soon as you do that, you come back into alignment, then things just start manifesting. It's not always an instant like that, but it does happen.
Yeah. Yeah. It does. It does. Um, I love the way you brought up the prodigal son. Wow, that's like that's another cool tidbit. It's funny how we can all watch the same thing but get different things. Christian has been kind of quiet, so I'm going to ask her a question. um, so for you, Christian, as a woman, because the story was really revolving around her, her roller coaster of relationships and things like. As a woman, what did you get from just watching?
We can have so many ideas and plans for our lives, like she did, and we hit brick walls and we hit these up and down roller coasters because we're so like focused on what we want and what we think is right for ourselves. But we get to a point though where we like, it's enough, it's enough. I don't
Mhm.
want my way. I want God's way. And when
Right.
you get to that place, then God will start opening up doors and doing things for you and have that right person for you. So
Right.
it just showed me, that aspect. Sometimes, how we try to fix things for ourselves, and it's
Uh-huh.
like, no,
Yeah.
you can't.
Yeah. 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 I
Yeah.
noticed that also. Did you guys notice that also? It seems like she was still trying to fix, even though she found her right guy. She was still trying to fix stuff, and they on the weekend that they were supposed to get married, you can kind of see where she's trying to, like, when they were talking to the bishop and she's looking at him like, no, this is the right one or nothing. And I thought it was pretty cool that he would always, even though he was so in love with her, he would always, step up with his authority and say, well, no, I'm not just going to follow everything that you say. I thought that was pretty cool. As that dynamic of what you just said, did you feel like um that was something that we would tell people to do? For me, it was both ways. I was just like, I don't know if I would do that because I'm such a passive person. But was it good or was it not good? And I'd like to hear from you guys because I love your dynamic as a couple. So in that section in the beginning, how they were kind of learning each other while they're, preparing to get married. Do you feel like that flow was good or no?
I can relate it to like our relationship and like in the beginning and even like throughout the relationship, because we were constantly growing, we're learning each other, we're evolving. What she may have liked in the very beginning, she may not like now, and it'll be 11 years this year.
Wow.
So it's always evolving, and you gotta be cool and give each other, I'm learning too, that you have to give each other grace to evolve. And learn. This past weekend, we learned about curiosity, being curious, always asking questions. So where are you now? Like, does this satisfy you now? Or what do you think about this? Instead of automatically thinking that they should think the way I think. There's two different people, we both have different experiences. We were raised different. And we had to learn together, like, okay, well, my experience is not her experience. So I have to meet her, where she is and be able to satisfy, but then still hold my authority. Like, listen, look. But we have to still give each other grace in that. I don't know. I don't know. Did I hit it or what?
Right. Did you agree, Christian?
I agree, Annie. Well,
all right. I thought that's true. Like, we can kind of see where their relationship would go, because, he never really let her get too far with it, but he still allowed her to be herself. She was just so outgoing and, so optimistic about everything. So, I can totally see that. And giving grace, guys, for real. Chris Tidbit, for real. That was good.
And it's hard too, because, she was single, it seems like for a while, and you just envision. Well, I can speak for myself. I envision how I wanted my relationships and how I want my family. And I don't know if people saw the Will Smith thing, and he had the whole thing too, like his image, and you're so fixated on that. And anything that diverts from your vision kind of causes friction. And I like too with her, she was still submissive, like, okay,
right.
This is the person that I love, and I trust his judgment.
Yes.
And that's grace.
That's grace. Awesome. That's a good one. So let's move a little further into the movie. Okay, we kind of talked about this before, so I do want to bring it up because to me, I like to talk about the most powerful movie. I have not been able to secure any able to show you exactly what I mean. I love to put movie clips in because you kind of get the feel when you actually watch the movie. So hopefully, guys, pray for me that I will secure a sponsorship for movie clips one day, so I'm able to actually show you the movie clip. But in the movie, and remember, you can get this on Netflix. You can watch it on Netflix right now. There was an argument between at the time, we think it's the auntie and the mother of Sabrina, which is the story is pretty much surrounded by her. And in the argument, we kind of figure out that her mother is actually her auntie, and her auntie is actually her mother. And in that scene, it was, of course, a powerful movie because it was a revealing moment, But in the scene, the mother of the groom was listening. And from that scene, negative came out. Like, okay, so I know my preference of, how I found God and the enemy. That's kind of how it is. Like, I'm going to take this news and I'm going to run with it and I'm going to tear up some stuff. That's what I saw. But I'd like to hear from you two on that scene, what you got out of it. Thinking on the premise of how do you find God in it?
I know the mother-in-law, she was messy.
Girl.
She was very, very messy and selfish
Yeah.
because she didn't want to let go of her boy, her little boy. She
Yeah.
looked at him as a little boy, but he's a grown man. She didn't want to let go. And so she's thinking, okay, I'm hurting, so let me hurt you.
Wow.
And 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 she was just sitting there too, like, okay, well, and she didn't feel no remorse to me. Like she wasn't sorry to me until somebody had to tell her,
Right.
she did the wrong.
Yeah,
But
Uncle Earl.
oh, girl.
Uncle Earl, yes. My favorite. One of my favorite characters.
but she
Put
was
your
just
wig on your head.
Yeah.
just messy, and
Yeah.
showed no remorse for
Yeah.
what she did.
Right.
But what I don't know what else I got out of that. Like, how do I see God in that? I don't.
Well, he kind of turned it all around for their greater good. They
Right.
towards the end. I had wrote that Uncle Earl said, if you keep fighting progress, you will find yourself on the other side of history.
Wow.
And
Right.
um,
Didn't say that.
that kind of opened. I was like, ooh, that's true.
Right.
She held him, her son, to being just a young boy. That was her baby. And anything that got in the way, she wanted to just disrupt. She looked for things to be mad at. Oh, she didn't invite me for that, and she didn't do this, and she didn't do that. Oh, you ain't gonna pick me up? You invited me here and then pick me up? You gonna send me a cab or somebody else? So it just was like a big snowball effect and stuff, like giving her more reasons to be upset and why this union should not be. Because it's disrupting my life with my son. I know his favorite meal. I know, this, that, and the other.
Right.
And he pointed that out too, that, in every, you've done that. You've been the disruptor. And this one, I intentionally kept quiet because
Yeah.
I wanted this for me. So
Yes.
he came to a point in his self where, like, I won't allow my mom to be, a stumbling block for what I want in my future. And
Right.
she just couldn't come to grips to that. And that whole her, even though she had exposed all this, thinking that, okay, I got my son back, he know the real deal, who this family that he's marrying into, he wouldn't want to ever get involved in that. Yeah, once she found this evidence, he would never want to be a part of a family that's dysfunctional. But it turned out to be a lie, because he still desired her and wanted her, despite all the chaos and this dysfunction that was going on. He still chased after her and proved to the mom, oh, well, she's more priority than me, and it blew her away. She was like, well, okay, well, I have to submit to him now. So it was like a beautiful thing, like she came to herself.
Right. And honestly, I feel like when I saw that, it was like we call that the inciting incident in a film, where you get to that point, and from there we're coasting on out. And I felt like that was that point where, oh, okay, ooh, I got some real good dirt, and I felt like from that point she fought and she fought and she fought. And I feel like a lot of times that is how the enemy, and I'm talking to you guys out there, the enemy will always come at you where they think they can get you. Now, she thought with this information, I'm going to be able to grab him. She thought if I cook him his favorite pie, he's going to be on my side. She thought that if I do this and I say that and I do my mommy thing, he's going to be on my side. And that's how the enemy is. He kind of knows us. He knows what we do. I don't know if you've ever heard that song by Cycles by
Jonathan McReynolds. Yeah.
And he said the enemy knows us even if we don't. He said something like that. Like he knows he knows us, and he knows our cycles, even if we don't know our cycles. Even he knows. So even though it was, this is the wedding weekend, because he had allowed her to manipulate every other relationship. She felt
Mm.
strong enough that she could come in on his wedding weekend
Mhm.
and end this relationship.
Mhm.
I was just like a flabbergasted, because I'm one of those people that have allowed, and I'm talking to my peoples here, I have allowed a lot of people and opinions and manipulations to control my thought process and to control where my experiences go.
Yeah.
And I have created many monsters in my life. I have. And I felt like he was strong enough at the end, but when she turned it to him and said, "This is your fault," I believed every second, because I felt it in my soul like I was him.
Mm.
Because if he had not created that monster,
Mm.
their dynamic for the weekend of their wedding would have been different. If he not allowed her to manipulate and do the little things that she has always done, when he finally found the right one, it would have been different. It would have been different if we think about it. You know, if he would have established his authority as a man earlier, she wouldn't have came in there with so much authority and so much power and so much, you know, she was almost arrogant about it. Like, I know I'm going to tear up this wedding, just arrogant, like, you know. And I thought it was I felt like I connected to it because I have seen that happen. And as us as people, we have to remember that God gives us authority over our own lives. It is your responsibility. You know, show thyself approved. You cannot allow somebody to come in and, you know, just disrupt what God is trying to do in your life. And it kind of sucked. It was good in the end, you know, because it kind of worked out, but it's not fair that that you get to a point where you have to literally fight and tell the people you love, no. They should know ahead of time. I feel like he should have never had to go there, and his wife should have never been scarred in that way. Not on her wedding weekend.
Yeah. It's crazy though that you mentioned that. It's just because I was just, as you were talking, just replaying like, oh my God, there's been so many times where I allow situations to just linger over and over, and cognitively knowing that that wasn't good.
Yeah.
But like him, he avoided it all his life in his relationships. And even in this one, he still avoided it because he was not confrontational with his mom. That he was in a relationship. He was really serious about this relationship. So he decided to just bury it. Like, I'll deal with it later. There's so many situations we just deal with it later. Like, and just keep on going on with life, but it's still there, and it shows its head in so many different areas. But if we just pause and be confrontational, Jesus was confrontational, and we have that same power, like you was talking about, an authority to do that. But I think because the relationships, and the toughest ones is the people we're closest to, our parents, you know, the people we're related to, like, siblings. It be the family, the ones always closest to you, that it's the most difficult to have those uncomfortable conversations, and especially when you are an adult now, and they still see you as, you know, a child. Right. And that transition, you know, and having those adult conversations, it can be very difficult. Whether, you know, it could be a best friend too. Like, they known you from childhood, just like his cousin.
Yeah. There was a conflict.
I just automatically thought I was gonna be the best man. You know? But they matured differently. They kept going, you know, and it took him, and he even avoided that. You know? He allowed him to just keep going on and saying this and saying that. But it was until he came to a point where he was just like, no, I got to confront you on this.
Right.
why you're not this is why you're not present. But it took, and I guess I could relate to it because it's a buildup sometimes for us as just humans, like when enough is enough.
Enough is enough. Yeah. And I'm thinking this is a great conversation, wonderful conversation. I'm sure you guys are going to go home with some good Chris tidbits. I keep saying that because he does that on Facebook. Find them on Facebook. But honestly, I feel like that was the whole frame of the movie, and that's how we find God. Like, you have to really look at yourself and see what you're learning, and while we're watching these movies and having these great conversations, keep in your mind that this is all we have. We have to find God every and anywhere we can to make it, and to make sure that we're having, just powerful relationships, and making sure that we're just constantly moving forward. I know that this story can just linger on, and we can see them probably having issues later, but still in love, and knowing that, I don't have to argue, I don't have to explain. It's me, it's us against the world. That's another, you're looking at the CEOs of Us Against the World. I have my t-shirt, I didn't put it on, it got too small. I wanted to
we got another one for you.
I wanted to wear it, but I was like, ooh, my arms look a little something in there.
Crazy.
But, it was amazing for me to watch this movie. And the first time I saw it, I totally thought of you guys. I have no idea. Their story is nothing like this, guys. But I just thought about it and wanted to talk to you guys about it. Is there anything else, after every conversation, I always say, is there anything else you'd like to leave to the people? And look at your camera when you see it.
I would just say, God's fingerprints are in the details. So pause, meditate, salah, even in the midst of chaos, confusion, dysfunction, find him. He's there. His promise is that he'll never leave us or forsake us, and that his presence is there, even though it could be the most horrendous thing, and that it's so ugly, but he's in the details somewhere, and he's trying to get a message to us, whether it be through a movie or whether it be through our relationships with each other. He's there, and it's our job to really seek him and find him in that whatever moment we're having, or problem that we're finding ourselves in, or a situation.
Cool. Thank you, Christian. Do you have anything? Or
Yeah, God is, so gracious. No matter what we may get ourselves into, no matter what we may do to others, he's always there with open arms to forgive us and welcome us home. So I'm just so grateful for God and how forgiving he is, and for Jesus and his grace. All of it.
Yes, right.
Giving that's what we really deserve. We be acting a fool.
Right.
Yeah.
And to take away, that's a great word. Grace from God, grace from your spouses. That's wonderful. Well, thank you guys so much. I'm so excited. You guys make sure you look up on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. Do you guys have TikTok too?
Not yet, we coming.
Everywhere you can find them. That's CB Property Group, correct?
Yes.
Awesome. CB Property Group to find your new home. Somebody that's looking for a home. Call them today. Look them up on Facebook for all the fun little Chris tidbits. And Kristen is quiet, but she has a lot of powerful stuff to say.
Yeah.
And so thank you for the last time, guys, so much for being here. And we're just going to say goodnight.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Serena.
No problem. Bye, guys.
Bye.
CB Property Group is devoted to serving the needs of the real estate buyers and sellers throughout the Inland Empire and surrounding areas. We are committed to delivering the best outcomes for your real estate needs by offering great flexibility with a focus on providing high quality service. Home ownership can become very stressful without proper guidance. We ensure our clients are as comfortable as possible when going through the process from start to finish.
We understand that buying and selling a home is more than just a transaction. It's a life-changing experience. That's why we dedicate ourselves to providing exceptional service to all of our clients and take great pride in the relationships we build. Great service requires custom fitting. We are ready to show you the best listings while being mindful to your own style, taste, and needs. You can rely on CB Property Group to help you realize your full potential in your real estate investment.
We believe in making a generational impact and are committed to creating progressive change in our community. We strive to utilize all of our combined expertise and experience we have acquired to help families reach their unique real estate goals with the highest level of service.
Our team is equipped with some of the industry's leading real estate tools and technology to better service our clients. Please take advantage of our helpful tools on our website, including our exclusive real estate search. However, please do not hesitate to contact us.